but still I rise.
You are listening to the Maryam Mkwanda show on Salam Media. 1 in 6 couples across the globe are affected by infertility. It's so much more common than you think. In fact, in your group of friends, there has to be at least one person who has experienced some turmoil when it comes to having a family. On World Fertility Day, which was the 2nd of November, uh, Infertility Awareness Association of South Africa launched a campaign to help South African women and their families with access to infertility treatments. Joining me is the founding member and CEO of IFAASA, Saskia Williams. Good day, Saskia.
Hi, Maryam. Thanks for having me on your show.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for joining me. Right. So, how big of a problem is infertility in South Africa?
Well, as you said, it's 1 in 6 couples that suffer from infertility, and that's in our country as well, worldwide and in our country. And in developing countries, actually, it's as much as 1 in 4. It's in the top 4 most prevalent diseases in couples of childbearing age. So it's very high up there in how prevalent it is in our communities.
Just tell us about the campaign that IFAASA has launched to help families with the infertility problems.
Okay, so for 7 years, we've been fighting the medical aids for cover for fertility treatments. So currently, according to the laws laid down by the Council for Medical Schemes, they need to fund all investigative diagnostic things for infertility. As soon as you're diagnosed with infertility, the medical aids do not have to fund the treatment. It's actually the only prescribed minimum benefit disease out of 270 on the exclusion list of the medical aids that's given by the Council for Medical Schemes. So we've tried for 7 years with public pressure, etc., to ask the medical aids out of almost the goodness of their hearts, because they don't have to cover it. They only have to do what the Council for Medical Schemes tell them they have to do. So now Discovery will be introducing some form of cover from next year. However, it's limited to a very small number of people because it's on their top 2 tiers. So we are launching a campaign that probably will see us eventually go to court. We're going to begin with appealing to the Council for Medical Schemes, and should that not work, then we will be going to court. So it's our fundraiser that we launched on the 2nd of November, as you said, World Fertility Day, for the public to get behind this, because we're a public advocacy group. So we're pushing it from the public side. So we need the public to get behind us, the 1 in 6 couples or their families, for instance, and to put some funds towards this battle. And we've got a target in place. If the target's not reached, then the money will be refunded. We're purely going to be using this money for this legal fight.
Mm-hmm. Now, explain to us a little bit about how the medical aids work, because I mean, fertility is not cheap. Fertility treatments are not affordable. And if you mentioned that the medical aid only covers the top 2 tiers, what happens to the rest of the people who cannot afford to be on those top 2 tiers and who also have other medical aids that do not cover?
Exactly. So it's only Discovery that's introducing it for next year on the open medical aid schemes. CAMAF already does cover fertility treatments, but that's a closed medical aid scheme. So the open medical schemes, it's only Discovery from next year, as we said, to that limited number of people. So for the people in that don't fall into those top tier covers with Discovery or happen to be with other open medical schemes, they don't have any cover from next year for fertility treatment. But that means they do still have the diagnostic cover, because they have to, as part of the prescribed minimum benefit laws, they have to fund it, but not from your medical savings, from your scheme benefits. So this is something we need to educate more people on, because currently you put your invoices in and they take it out of your medical aid savings. You don't know any better, and you go, okay. But actually, it is a prescribed minimum benefit disease up to diagnostic stage. So they do need to take it out of your benefits and not your medical savings. If you see on your statement that they've taken it out, you need to make your medical scheme aware that they need to refund your medical savings account and take it out of the scheme. But it's only going to, for those people that don't fall into those categories, it's only going to be up to diagnosis. Once diagnosis is made, they don't have to, by law, to pay for any treatment.
Mm-hmm. What can someone be expected to pay for the cheapest infertility treatment?
It depends a lot on what they need and the number of drugs, etc., their age. But you're looking at starting from around, for IVF, I'm talking from about 35,000 Rand for IVF. For IUIs and artificial insemination, it can be as low as 6,000, 7,000 Rand. But those are the people that just need a little bit of help. For the people that have more fertility issues with male factor fertility or more severe female factor, they would need IVF, and that really does start from a minimum of around 35,000, but up to and including 130,000, that kind of thing. It depends again on what your situation is and how much intervention you need.
Are there any other alternative routes to take in terms of paying for such treatments?
There is funding. There are funders out there that cover you. That it's a loan, basically. So you take a loan, and it's not a guaranteed treatment. Then you're paying off this treatment for the next how many years? It's very difficult because it's hard to put yourself into that financial strain when it's not a low possibility. It's 30 to 40 or so percent chance of successful transfer, but there are options. You can do that. For discovery patients, you can use your medical savings account for treatment if you've been with them for longer than 12 months. That's something else that their clients that are in that lower bracket need to be aware of. But other than that, it's saving. Some people ask loans from their families, etc. They borrow on the mortgage of their house. They sell their cars. It's a really big thing for people, a big financial strain for people. And there is fertility within the public institutions, but only 3 in the country. So Steve Biko in Pretoria, Tygerberg, and Groote Schuur in Cape Town. So they offer more affordable treatment within the public sector. But I mean, as you know, the majority of the country don't live around those areas. So where do they go for affordable cover?
No, that's true. And now, what outcome are you hoping for as IFAASA?
Well, we're hoping to have the exclusion overturned because we see it as being discriminatory. There's 270 diseases on the prescribed minimum benefit disease list, and infertility is the only one that's excluded for treatment. Now, it's a World Health Organization recognized disease, so it is a disease. It's not just something that people get because, I don't know, they drink too much or whatever. They've caused it themselves. They haven't. It's a disease. It's a recognized disease entity. So we just want it not to be discriminated against. Now, the medical schemes, etc., are worried that it's going to bankrupt them because treatment can be very expensive. But we are just asking, like the other disease categories within the prescribed minimum benefit diseases, that need to be covered as to how it's covered within the public sector. So that is what we're looking for infertility to be covered by the medical aids as it is in the public sector. We don't want to bankrupt the medical schemes. We just want it to be treated fairly and not discriminated against.
All right. For our viewers and listeners who are interested in getting behind you, how can they contact IFAASA?
They can find us on Facebook. They can follow us, the Infertility Awareness Association of South Africa. On the BackaBuddy fundraising page, they just have to search for IFAASA and they'll find our campaign. Otherwise, they can go to our website for more information on infertility. It's www.ifaasa.co.za.
All right. So thank you so much for your time, Saskia.
Thanks, Maryam.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Saskia Williams, the founding member and CEO of the Infertility Awareness Association of South Africa, hoping to end the financial exclusion by medical aid providers. As you've heard for yourself, the cheapest treatments can start from about 6,000 Rand, but that is diagnosis. That's diagnosing what you have when it comes to the type of infertility that you have. And thereafter is the treatment that you are going to go for, which could cost, like IVF, what she mentioned, 30,000. Very expensive. So yeah, medical aids should be able to cover. But also, guys, when you are signing up for medical aid, know what you are signing up for. Read the fine print and also ask about those other benefits that you can receive. Medical aid will just take, and you're just paying, but you're not sure what you are paying for, and you're not sure about the hidden benefits that you are actually supposed to be receiving because you just think that no, I'm paying only for this year. They only show you what is in front, face value. Look out for those hidden codes as well. And if there are other options, perhaps what is this, medical insurance, perhaps try that if it can help you out, or go to the hospitals if they are closer to you. I live in Pretoria, so for my friends and family who are in Pretoria, Johannesburg, and surrounding areas, you can go to Steve Biko Hospital and go for your diagnosis there. It's much more affordable because it is a public health facility. So whatever it is, just try it out, because 1 in 6 couples have fertility issues and are struggling to get pregnant and get a child. It's not easy, but there is help out there. It is expensive help, but nonetheless, there is help out there. You are listening to the Maryam Mkwanda Show on Salam Media. Please share your comments, questions, queries, or suggestions with us. Send them to our WhatsApp line on 061 or you can leave them in the comment section below and tell us, how has infertility affected you as an individual, whether you are male or female. Remember that infertility does affect men as well. And just because it's more regarded as a female issue, it does not mean that men cannot be affected by it. Many partners do not know that the men are the ones who could be infected, because we always go around thinking that it's a woman's problem, and it's not the woman's problem. If you agree to have a child with someone, both of you should get checked out for infertility, and both of you should undergo treatments if necessary. So yeah, speak to your partner about these issues. Be open and communicate about them. All right, guys, just stay with us. We will be right back after the break.